Aha. Check it out, my friends. Check it out. Look what I found underneath in that she shed. And this is pretty cool because you know what? This I can actually cut and replace this piece. Okay, while I was eating lunch, I noticed the chimney was smoking a bit. So I'm wondering if this kind of went out on its own, which would prove my theory, yeah, about that damper. Yeah, that damper is not big enough yet. Life is good! Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to another edition of NTS Adventures. For those of you that are just joining us, joining the NTS Adventure community, welcome. And for those of you who have been following my sauna renovation, welcome back. Day 2 of the sauna renovation. We'll do a quick little recap of what we accomplished yesterday for those of you that are interested. So yesterday on the Reno, we power washed with a pressure washer the entire interior. I'm pleased with the way it turned out. However, I did discover some more rot that I wasn't anticipating, but I have a plan to take care of that. I also took off some of the tensioning straps and I'm going to get them fixed. A friend of mine's going to put some turnbuckles, I guess we call them, on there. So I'll replace those. In the meantime, I have some ratchet straps maintaining security. And we also took the seats out and the floor and we washed them. There's the seats, there's the floors. And we'll be putting them back in good order shortly. And that's about it. All right, well, let's talk about today. So today, the plan is pretty ambitious to-do list. I don't know if I'm going to accomplish it all, but we're going to try. First thing we got to do, right off the hop here, is we got to light this stove. I painted it in the last episode, and that was yesterday for me. I painted both the stove and the rock box. But you can't put those in the sauna right now and light it for the first time while you're in the sauna because the burn off of the paint can be toxic. So I got to do a burn off out here on both the Firebox and the rock box. I'm probably going to light a fire in my fire pit here, and I'll throw the rock box on top of that to make sure it gets good and hot and burns off any toxins. And I'll also light a fire in the stove. So that's phase number 1. Phase number 2, what you up to, Megs? What's Megs up to? What are you doing, girl? Anyway, dogs will be dogs. Phase number 2, let's go take a look at this. This is a big problem. Thought about it last night before going to sleep. I don't know how I'm going to solve it. If you guys look through the door here, you can see the back hole or the back section for where the stove goes. If I step back here, you can see it's not completely in line. Now, I don't know what happened there. It was perfectly vertical when I purchased it. At least I think it was. I wasn't really paying too much attention to the back wall here. But as you can see, here's a different shot for it. It's a little bit crooked. Now, I tried to move it yesterday afternoon. I tried pounding it and hoping the whole thing is going to spin within the barrel. But I didn't have much luck there, and it actually caused a little bit more damage than I had wanted to. Got a little bit of a hole here that I'm going to have to fix. I kind of just separated the joiner here. So what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to try again, and I'm going to remove that bottom piece there. And I'm going to gently try and shift this whole thing to the right to get it level. I don't think that's going to work. I don't, full disclosure. But because I think that what had happened was, one of two things that happened. Is during the move, when we lifted it onto the trailer, there was 6, maybe 8 of us. There was people coming and going, so I didn't really keep track. And the lifting of it may have shifted the back here. Or theory number 2, which I think is more plausible, for those of you who watched the first episode know that when I got it, it was super dry. And then there was a couple days of rain and it cinched up, it tightened up, which is how barrels work. And I think that maybe when it tightened up, that might have shifted a bit and put it in a new position. Either way, if I can't get this straightened, I'm not panicking completely about it, because the hole is big enough that I think I can put the stove in, if you will, and mount it so that the stove is perfectly level, horizontal and vertically. Although the hole will remain that way, and I can dress it off with some edging. So you wouldn't really notice unless you're a real keen eye and extremely observant, like some people I know. The only problem with that is if you look inside, it's kind of noticeable that it's off a bit, but not terribly. I'm gonna see. So that's task number 2. And task number 3, which is the one I've been looking forward to the most, is once I have that back wall secure, taken care of. Obviously there's some hole patching that's gonna take place while I do that. So phase number 3 today is gonna be the staining of the whole barrel on the outside. That's it. 3 things, big to-do list, I get it. It's gonna be a super hot day here in the Ottawa Valley. I got some work to do, so let's get at her. Stay tuned. All right, for those of you that watched the first episode of this renovation, know that I had talked about one of the complaints the owner had was that he couldn't get the sauna very, very hot, or hot to his liking, particularly in the winter. Could be a couple reasons for that. There was a couple fairly big holes in the sauna. It might have been that. I'm not sure. I don't know if that would be enough to reduce the temperature in there. It could be the size of the firebox. I pointed that out in the video 1. It is a bit small, but it may work. I'm going to try and I'll burn it through the winter and see what happens. Also, the thing I noticed yesterday was on his damper here, his dampening system, these holes on the inside are pretty small, really small. Now, I've been around wood stoves my whole life. I've actually owned 2 homes where I had wood stoves. I've used wood burning saunas on and off most of my life. So I know that you need a good dampening system. Draw is important to get that fire hot. Plus, I don't like to burn I like to burn a hot fire in all my wood stoves. Doesn't matter if it's a sauna or a wood stove, because I personally believe that's safer for the chimney. There's no creosote buildup. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I know a lot of people burn their wood with dampers closed. And they're very vigilant about maintaining their chimney, then that's no problem. But for me, I was always very paranoid about it, so I always just made sure that when I burnt all my fires and all my wood stoves over the years, I maintained a healthy opening in the damper, so it was a nice hot fire and a lot of flow. Anyway, I know that point is up for debate for sure, but in this case, I want a really hot fire because it's a sauna. That's the whole point. So first thing I'm going to do this morning is I'm going to drill these holes a little bigger to provide some more flow for the fire, some more airflow, maybe get a little hotter, and then we're going to light a fire in it. I'm also going to light a fire in my fire pit so I can burn that rock box really, really hot too, to burn off the toxins. Let's see how she goes. Probably should have took this off and sent it to somebody to drill press. Oh well, that's a pretty heavy gauge too. All right, let's try that. 5 new ones. Let's add quite a bit of airflow there, as you can see. Should add quite a bit of airflow, I'm thinking. Not a real fan of this dampening system here either. I might have to figure that out. Might have to change this entirely. We'll see. But that's a few more. It might make a difference. It might not. We'll see. So this is your typical cut for most people, about 16 inches, right? I think we could say that's fair. People usually cut their wood between 12 and 16 inches, depending on the stove, maybe a little longer. I get my wood all around 16 inches. If it fits in this firebox at 16 inches, I'm going to be happy. If not, I got work to do because I'm probably going to have to extend that firebox or cut a lot of my burning wood in half. We'll see here. Almost, not quite. Almost, that's okay. That's okay. I think that would probably be a fluke. Now that one does. Perfect, okay. No problem, okay. All right, we might be okay. All right, that seems to be going pretty good actually. Some really good draw there. I'll give the new damper system a try in a minute here too. Gonna make sure she's good. Lots of good draw coming up there. All right, we gotta light the second fire now for the rock box. All right, so it seems to be working already. My wife just came out to visit and she noticed the burn off starting to occur. I think initially we thought maybe it was a hole in the stove and a smoke leak, but it wasn't. So you can see the burn off is starting already. I don't know if the camera's picking that up or not. And that's exactly what we want. We don't want to be breathing that in when we're on the stove. Now, the manufacturer recommends to do one burn off, wipe it all down, and then put it back in and do another burn off in the sauna with the door open. I have the stove outside right now. So I think I'm going to do my first burn off today. Then tomorrow when it cools, or this evening, we'll give it a good wipe down. And then tomorrow, depending on the weather, fishing schedule, things to do for my wife, etc., I'll decide whether or not I'm going to do the second burn off tomorrow. But my point is I'm going to do two burn offs outside before I even put it in the sauna, just to be safe. I don't want to risk me and my family having to breathe any of that shit in. So that's what the plan is. So it's working. Okay, throw one more log in the wood stove, and then I'll get on back to the sauna itself. The bottom piece here, it's a bit rotten underneath. Water obviously collected there. It might have been leveled tilting towards the back at either the first or second owner's place. I can't say for sure. But I'll let that dry out for a day or two, and then I'll have a trick that I can seal that up. I mean I might be able to use this as a template and cut a new piece, but the problem is I can't find cedar that thick. I don't want to put PT in because that could be dangerous when it heats up. I could put in a piece of raw lumber. That might be an option. Maybe a 2x8 cut into this. I might even have that, but I'll leave that for now. We'll give that some thought, and we'll continue figuring out how to spin this whole thing. I don't know if we can do it or not. The problem I'm having here, at first thought, many of you are thinking, as was I, I can just pull every one of these boards out and reposition them back in place. The problem I'm having with that consideration is there's no nails or screws in the construction of a barrel sauna. This just fits in here. You put on the belt, get it wet, let it swell. So if I pull these individually off, I'm wondering if this whole end here, if you will, is just going to kind of come in like that and collapse, and that might be in for more trouble. So I might have to live with mounting the stove so that it's plumb and level within that hole, which I think I can because it's big enough. And that's all I can do. But for now, I'm going to let that dry out. My buddy JC is also having some flashing built for me for here and here, because that's a pretty dangerous situation there. So he's got some metal flashing coming, and we'll do some heat seal tape, I'm thinking, and we'll get that dialed in. So I'm not worried about that. It's just this crookedness here is kind of bugging me. You guys can see right through the difference between the two. But I think that's going to be my reality. I'm going to have to try and mount the stove square and live with that. In the meantime, I'm going to try and add some security here, i.e. some structure, and which I do know a little bit about. I did get educated on aircraft structural repair at one time in a previous life. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I'll do some structural repairs on this, and I'll see what happens. Aha. Check it out, my friends. Check it out. Look what I found underneath in that she shed. And this is pretty cool because, you know what? This, I can actually cut and replace this piece. So it's going to work perfect. I can cut it. I can use the old piece as a template. Again, I know it's not cedar, but I would feel more secure with that being under there because it is under the stove, and there's kind of a structural component of it-ish. So I think I'll do that when I get a chance. I'll cut that out and then I'll replace it here. But again, I gotta let this dry out a bit here. I gotta let this dry out as that rot could get worse. I get these little strips at Home Depot. I don't know what they categorically call them. So it's a 1x4, maybe 1x3. I'm not sure what it's advertised as, but anyway, it's really only about, well, let's take a look. See what they really are. Yeah, 3.5, so that'd be 3.5. My guess is by 3/4 here. They're calling it 1x4x8 is what it's called on here. So my apologies. And so yeah, 3/4. So typical. Take off a 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch rather, I guess, however that works. But anyway, I like these boards because I use them all the time for all sorts of things around the house. They're cheap. I forget what they're at right now for a bundle at Home Depot, but it wouldn't be that expensive because I didn't spend much money on this project. I'm trying to reduce the amount of cost I'm spending on it on purpose. My whole idea was to do this thing cheaply. So anyway, these are nice. There's always a nicer side up. There's always a rough side, but a nicer side. So this will suffice well for me to do some of my structural repairs. What's going on, my Megs? What's going on, my good girl? You curious? Curious what Dad's doing, eh? Oh, that's a good girl. That's a good girl. Oh, that's a good girl. Where are you going? Come here. Come here. I got something for you. Come here. Come here. I got something for you. Sit. Sit. What do I got? What's Dad got for you? What's Dad got for you? Oh, you're going to be nice? Ask me. Ask me. Ask me. Good girl. That's my good girl. Okay. Good. Okay. It's not playtime, Mags. It's work time, my girl. It's work time. Got a couple pilot holes in there just because I put it close to the edge. About a 5 or 6 inch pitch should be good enough. Now I'm going to get it up. I'm going to do one side and then I'm going to push the other side in, cinch that up. Before I do that, I'm going to put some glue in. I went on the almighty internet, because that's what we all do nowadays, and to find out what the best possible glue was for high heat. When I went on Gemini, same thing as ChatGPT, but I think the Android version. But anyway, when I went on Gemini, it said that this is the one. It's the Tightbound 3. It's super heat resistant, super strong. It works well and responds well to quick cold thaw and high heat, and just the overall elements, the harsh elements of a sauna. Well, we'll see. We will see. I'm going to be using finishing nails for a lot of this project, for most of it, but for something like this I prefer to use screws because it is a structural element. Again, you know, some finishing nails by way of pass load gun is probably just as efficient because I'm using glue in conjunction with it, but I prefer screws. All right, it doesn't look real nice, but I'm not too worried about that because it's the back and I'll be standing at the match. If somebody wants to come back and stare at the back of my sauna and critique my structural repair, then they got nothing better to do than that, well then that's their problem. Anyway, so I think we'll leave that one there. I think I might put one here too, because I can see that's cracking a little bit too. Again, I don't know how much more swell is going to happen in this with the rain, but I think if I put that there, again, I'm most concerned about this because that stove is heavy, and if you notice here, there's holes here and here and here, and that the stove actually just goes in, and with those 6 bolts it's held, and it's heavy. I don't know, it's probably close to 200 pounds, maybe even a more. It takes 2 of us to lift it. So that's a lot of weight, and you can see that the holes are kind of elongated, which tells me that there's a lot of strain, a lot of weight on there. You can see how it's kind of pushed down. That could be due to the fact that the bolts were loose, and sometimes that'll happen, but that's neither here nor there. As a matter of fact, I just realized that I'm going to have to cut this board here because that's where the stove fits outside of that. Oh, that's a good catch. That's a good catch, Colin. I better do that right now. I better fix that up. It's real rotten, this one board here, the end of it. So I'm going to try and take as much of that out as possible so that it can get to at least the good wood, which probably starts right about here, thinking. And then I'll have to cut a piece and fill that in. The convenient thing is there's actually a hole in here in the strap, so I can put it in once I get it glued and dried out. But the rest of them are pretty good, so I'm not completely freaked out. It's one board. I think I can fix that. These ones are actually still pretty solid. Not bad, you know, maybe this one here too, a little bit. But it's not rotten, really. This is just cracked. It's not rotten. There's a big difference. It's not wet and spongy. So one board on this side, not even a whole lot. So I'm not freaked out about that. And I can still tap into the structure here. You guys can see the main part of it. So I just gotta cut that out. Basically like cleaning out a wound, if you will. Clean that out as much as I can, let it dry, and then I'll be able to pack it in with some Tightbound 3 mixed with some cedar sawdust, but we'll talk about that later. Yeah, okay, here it is here. You can see this here, that's spongy. That's all spongy here, you can see? See how I'm breaking through there? So I'm gonna have to figure out how to repair that. I have a couple ideas. I might actually end up just cutting down to there. I gotta be careful though. Gotta be careful when I'm doing this here. I'll get that fixed. Again, this might be a board and batten situation over there. We'll see, but I'll clean it out as much as I can, get it as dry as I can, and then we'll highlight the repair later. All right, so I've decided to cut this out before I start staining because I want to really give it a good air out. So I think this is the tool for it. The Dremel with this cutting blade here. We'll see. wood here, down here. It's not spongy. Dentistry for barrel saunas. The last thing my wife said to me before I came out here to start this drilling was, be careful, those bits break. They're always right. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to keep these strands in here because they're not terribly rotten. Just something for the glue when I start the repair to hold on to. But for the most part, I think I'm at the edge of the good wood because it's not spongy anymore. It gets hard here, and here's good. Here's good. So I'm just gonna let that air out for a couple days. Check this side out here. It's a little bit here, but not too bad here. I'm gonna pull that one off too. Another repair here. It seems to be collected where the seats were. Maybe just because they couldn't get air. I don't know. But I'll be fixing this side up here too, so that's okay. We'll get that done. Okay, on to the main event. I'm going to start staining, but I want to release these. I'm going to release these ratchet straps one at a time, and I'm hoping it's not going to cause me so much grief, because as you can see by the change in color here, these are the bands that I've taken off that are going to go to my friend's place for building some new turnbuckles on them. I'm hoping with this far one and this one in place, I'm going to be okay. So I do one at a time. I'll do this one, paint out, and then tighten it back up, and then do that one. That's what I'm going to see. Fingers crossed, everybody. This whole thing could just go kapwap right now and completely unravel. Completely. Okay, I'm not going to push my luck. I just got it like that hanging. I'll move it aside, get the stain on there, and then I'll cinch it back up. All right, let's get at her. All right, my friends. That's a wrap for today. I'm pretty tuckered. Starting to get real sloppy with my staining. But anyway, let's take a quick look at how things turned out here. Not too bad. I mean, I gotta do some touch-ups obviously underneath there. I'm not doing it today. I'm just out of steam. But it's absorbing it's really absorbing the stain, which is what we wanted. Obviously you can see there's a few touch-ups on the barrel there that need, obviously there's a few touch-ups here and there we need to go over. But again, I'm too knackered to do that. We'll take this side of it here. All right. Not too bad. And of course we started off the day way over here. While I've been painting and fooling around on the inside, we got this thing completely, I think we got it completely burned off actually. It's been burning for about 5 hours right now. And I'm actually contemplating not even doing a second burn on it because there's nothing coming off of that. I'll let it cool down really nice tonight, obviously. And then tomorrow I'll give it a wipe down and we'll be ready to go in. So where are we at now? Well, I'm gonna take a couple days break because I'm absolutely trashed. A lot of old injuries coming out when you do this kind of work. And you know what? Truthfully, I just got to say, man, every time I do a project like that, hats off to construction workers, roadway workers, contractors, electricians, plumbers, man. I don't know where we'd be without you guys, truly, man, from the bottom of my heart, because, like, it's hard work, man. I've done some hard things in my day, but with you guys moving and changing positions constantly up and down and moving around different angles, man, you guys are good on you guys, man. It's hard work. It really, really is. So anyway, I digress. So this is where we're at when we come back, and it's going to be a couple days from now, honestly. We're going to go back into the interior. We're going to put the benches back in. I'm going to work on the floor. I'm going to do some board and batten on the floor, get it sealed up. Hopefully seal up all those areas of rot that I pulled out today. It's going to get a few more days to dry here. And I'm waiting on some sheet metal to be fabricated for extra protection for my stove. And then I think we'll be about there for that day. And then we'll see how she goes after that. We're getting close. I'm going to say 1, maybe 2 more days of full hard work. And then maybe a couple half days or couple hours here and there, some tinkering. We'll see how she goes. Anyway, day 2 complete, everybody. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you next time. Colin out. Day 2, job done.
Life is good.